Yeah, so the UN published a number that over 70% of the casualties are women and children. Myself, when I look at the numbers and I try to look back at all the patients I treated, when I came back in August, for example, when I went in there, my percentages were more like 86% of them were children, small children. We're talking about young children, not ones that can be mistaken as an adult,
Yeah.
like late teens or anything like that, and women. And that's who most of that's who the patient population is. And most of my colleagues, every single one that I've spoken to at least has said the same thing, that these are mostly men, mostly women and children.
That is unbelievable. My God, that is unbelievable. Okay, listen, what else? What else do you want to talk about? What else should we talk about?
I think that there's this this concept of October 7th. I know you've talked about it, a lot on your show, of it being the starting point in all of this. And
Yeah,
it is so untrue. It couldn't be further from the truth, right? We have to take this. It can't be in a vacuum. But the sense that I want to point out is that the apartheid, that this is an apartheid state, and this is so obvious when you go to Gaza. I'll give you an example. People that are in Gaza City, a lot of them have like never been outside of there. So we're
yeah.
talking because there's checkpoints for everything. There's checkpoints. There are drones following you. I know a 23-year-old who was a medical student who never knew what it sounded like without a drone overhead. So when you go there, there's a drone that follows you around that surveys, right? It's a surveillance all the time. And it just follows, or it has a capability of shooting and knowing where you are at all times. It's just this buzzing overhead all the time. Just imagine that. Imagine what it feels like that you're in a free place, a free state, and there's
Yeah.
something following you around all the time to see what you're doing and what you're up to all the time. Does that seem free to you?
No, there's
Absolutely
definitely
not.
nothing free there. You know, and I'm actually really glad you brought this up. And, I'm actually working on a specific guide that'll help people understand this. And you're right. Anybody that thinks this started October 7th, 2023 is completely clueless. But the problem is that's what most people think. That's what most Americans for honestly, most Americans think that. And again, not to their fault because we've been insulated from all of this. And I'll be honest, I was one of those people. I had no idea. I didn't know any of this. And then through the course of the past 18 months, when you start to understand the 1917 Balfour Declaration, 1948, what actually happened in order for Israel to be founded in 1948, you had to get rid of a bunch of people. And so 700 to 900,000 Palestinians were removed or killed, I think, actually in 1948. 1967, the Six Day War, and then especially going to 2005 when there's a big narrative around how Israel gave the Palestinians Gaza in 2005 by removing their 8,500 settlers that were there. Well, that left 2 million Palestinians who then have been under this open air prison, which you perfectly just described with the drones since 2005. I mean, the entire area, there's so much history to it. And October 7th was nothing but another sort of data point in this unbelievable situation. But you're absolutely right about that. And I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. For a while, I thought this two-state solution was the answer, but I now have come to the realization that the two-state solution is just it's just a myth, and I don't think that the Israeli side ever will allow that to happen. I don't even know if the Palestinian people ever want that, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, what do you
Want the full truth? Watch the full Deep Shallow Dive interview next. And hit subscribe if you're done with narratives and ready to call a spade a spade.